And welcome to this episode of Alamo City Geek Speak, home for the geeks, where we talk about pulp culture, Star Wars, movies, music, and other random garbage, along with tons and tons of cursing. And here's your host, Justin Chaos.
There's really not a whole lot else you have to do right now. So
You're right.
You're right. This is the best place for you to be.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, welcome back to Alamo City Geek Speak. My name
Hello!
is Chaos. Wow, that was loud. Maybe I should just go ahead and adjust my volume there just a bit. So today it is just Raul and I. Which is
sorry, guys.
It's fine. I think the thing is you get unlimited play with Zoom right now if you just have two people, and also the fact that we kind of impromptu decided to start recording, and all the people that I had asked earlier, they weren't able to do it. So we do have some guests coming up in the next couple of weeks. We're going to be able to join with us, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Until then, we get to act like we're on talk radio. We are doing lots of NPR kind of stuff, just talking to the microphone. There's absolutely no other sound around me. No, anyway, so so we're gonna have a great time. We actually have a lot of great subjects to talk to you about.
Oh yeah.
So one of which, first of all, though, the first thing I want to ask is, it's only been a week, so I don't know if we necessarily have to do the whole like, hey, how have you been? Because I've seen you like 1,000 times, and I have to work with you. But then I
talk to you every day. I don't.
That's what I'm saying. But
why would you ask me how I'm doing?
For the people at home who might actually give a shit who you are.
Oh, do people care? Do y'all care at home how I'm doing? That's really awesome, actually.
They really don't.
Oh.
I'm just talking for them. I don't know if that's true or not, but I know I don't.
It's really neat if they do.
It's really neat?
Yeah, I need more friends.
Well, you got followers on Twitter, so that's close enough.
That's something.
You got a whole bunch of bots who are looking to ask you to go to onlyfans.com and
hey, click this link to see my naked photos. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Well, one day you'll have real friends.
One day.
Man, there's been a whole bunch of crazy stuff happening in the world around us. Specifically, stuff that's happening in like the entertainment world. Dude, Joe Diffie. I don't know if you're familiar with country music. Joe Diffie, the guy who sang the song Third World, Welcome to Earth, Third Rock from the Sun. So the song is called Third Rock from the Sun, right? Mm-hmm. He died from the coronavirus. Yeah.
Really?
So, yeah, he died. I don't know if he's the first celebrity to die. I don't know how Tom Hanks is doing. We haven't heard anything about him in a while, so we'll find out.
Also, now that you mentioned that, the dude that sang Stacy's mom.
Really?
Yeah, he died yesterday. It's actually really sad. Actually,
coronavirus?
Yeah, he was only 52 years old. It's sad.
Fountains of Wayne.
Yeah, Fountains of Wayne. Yeah.
Yeah. Holy.
Yeah, I saw the article yesterday that he passed away, and I think they said he was healthy, like he didn't have any other issue.
I think the one important question is, how is Stacy's mom? Because if he was younger in that video, and she wasn't, I mean, she's got to look out. No.
She's a high risk.
Right, high risk, but
that's
high reward, right?
I feel bad making that joke.
It's fine. It's cool. We all know what this thing is. I think if we make jokes about it, it's easier to deal with. In fact, actually, just the other day.
It's funny you say that because there was a whole. Oh, go ahead.
I'll say just the other day I was at Walmart, and I found the game that's based upon the world of the coronavirus. It's called Earthfall. No, just kidding. No, but seriously though, hey, I got this game from somebody at work during Christmas.
Oh wait, yeah, who gave me that?
Sam did.
That's right, and you haven't played it still.
No, it's still in the wrapper. I never had
Sam,
a hard.
Dude, I'm gonna send her this.
I never had the heart to tell her this game is garbage, but like straight up, I'm just saying this is right here. This is a gift that someone walked into a Walmart and said, he likes games. How about this one?
I feel like the person behind the counter was just a dick because I feel like they would know that game is shit.
No,
so
but
I feel like they were just like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna fuck with this guy. I'm gonna give him the worst game on the planet.
That's the equivalent of whenever you're playing video games and your grandpa comes in trying to bond with you and says something like, "Are you winning?" You know?
Yeah, I've had experiences like that all my life. Still do. Still do.
Your grandpa also comes in and tells you to shut up because you're being too loud.
Yeah.
Like, are you crying over a video game?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's funny you say that about making jokes, though, because I was on Twitter yesterday, and about everyone and their mother was saying that April Fool's was canceled because of the coronavirus. That there are too many that it's too big of an issue, and that April Fool's should be canceled
That
because
is stupid.
I guess humor isn't allowed during serious times like this.
And I can understand that some people are like, oh, my sensitive bones don't make fun of the things that are going around us because everything's a little too real right now. But the fact of the matter is, they say laughter is the best medicine. So, why not give it a shot? If you can't laugh at yourself, there's been plenty of times where you just have really bad stuff going on in your life. And sometimes hearing a joke that just normally would probably rub you the wrong way may just be the one thing to pull you out of the dumps, because dark humor is
which we both know very well.
Very well. I don't get me wrong, I know my way around a Paul Walker joke. So no, but like the thing is, they always say comedy is drama retold, right? So when you're in a situation that's seriously heavy with drama like it is right now, comedy is like one of the best things to kind of help you pull out of the dumps. And sometimes just looking at the situation you're in and trying to make light of it can help out.
Very true.
So that's our serious talk for the day. Now let's also talk about some other stuff that's going on. So you brought something to my attention today that you were like, oh my God, you have to hear this. It was the fact that The Last of Us is delayed until further notice.
That's just a damn shame.
I really hate that term, till further notice.
Yeah, they basically said it's indefinitely put on hold due to this whole coronavirus. So coronavirus strikes again and has to take something else that we love away from us, because as if this year wasn't hard enough already, they had to just take away the one game that I was looking forward to, other than Resident Evil, which is coming out tonight, actually.
So
cannot wait to play that.
So the funny thing is, and I just want to point this out, like I was going to ask you about this earlier, I have literally never heard you ever talk about Resident Evil, and then all of a sudden Resident Evil 3 was coming out, you're like, oh my God, I'm super excited. And I was like,
I was excited for it. I played the second remake, or the Resident Evil 2, the remake. I played it. I actually never finished it, which is kind of sad. I was on the final boss battle, and I just never...
So, did you play as Claire or Leon in your first playthrough?
I played as...
Probably played as Leon, didn't you?
Leon, yeah, it was Leon.
This is just for like the Resident Evil 2 purist, I think. Honestly, I think that the only way... So maybe... I know when the first Resident Evil 2 came out, they came out with 2 discs, and there was Claire and Leon. And whenever you beat the game with one person, it automatically made scenario B, and then you played through the other person.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I always assumed that Leon was scenario A and Claire had to be scenario B, until one day I figured out that that's not the case. But yeah, no, I beat the game as Leon first because he is by far my favorite Resident Evil protagonist. I think a lot of people would agree with that. Chris Redfield's a close second, but Jill, I think, is everyone's secret second, because Jill Valentine is just a badass. And
she's hot. So
yeah, but also there's a very huge difference in the way she looks between Resident Evil 3 and then when you see her again in Resident Evil, was it 5, and she beats the hell out of Chris, and you have to take that little spider thing off her chest.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that. They adapted that into the movie too.
That was terrible. It horrible. Was not good. The movie itself was terrible. I think we can all agree the movie was just fucking terrible.
Well, everything after the second movie was pretty bad. Like,
they shouldn't even made those movies. They should never happen.
No, the first one's pretty good. The first one's pretty good with. But I also, it's like they should have stopped after Apocalypse Extinction, where they're like basically everything's like in the desert, basically. That was.
Don't you do this? Don't you do this?
It was all right. It was all right. It wasn't bad. Everything after that though was basically shit, and they retconned so many things. Like there was characters at the end of one movie that just totally disappeared after, in the beginning of the next movie, and then. Yeah, it was just I don't understand. I don't understand the timeline of that movie. The last movie didn't make any sense at all. They basically just retconned everything.
No, the last movie was absolutely horrible shit. Yeah. I actually paid to go watch that movie.
And the shitty trailer with Guns N' Roses? That didn't mesh well at all.
Yeah, no, it didn't.
A mashup of
honestly, I think that the entire song, if they would have taken that trailer and if they would have put it to to the chorus of November Rain, that would have been even better. Because then I would be like, you know what? Okay, I get it. They're really sad they made these movies. Resident Evil Apocalypse, I guess the spiritual Resident Evil nemesis. I think it was Apocalypse, right? Yeah.
They did a really good job on his design in that movie.
He kind of
He looked pretty.
no, he was straight up like just a giant goth kid with those giant ass boots of his and the big leather trench coat. Like I was waiting for him to pull a mask out and start doing his little dancing.
You know what? The best part of that series was Mike Epps.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was really weird how they just killed him off, like in the extinction one you were talking about.
Yeah.
How like he
unfortunate.
gets bit for what's her face, the lady who sacrificed herself for the birds. He gets bit trying to protect her, and then didn't tell anybody, which is really weird for a character who knows how things are going. And he's like, "Oh shit, I better hide this from everybody,"
I feel like that's in every zombie movie ever, though. You always have to have that one character that just decides, "Hey, I'm gonna fuck up everyone else's day."
It needs to be the panicky young person who's like, "I don't know what's going. I should hide this," Like remember in Dawn of the Dead, Mackay Pfeiffer's his girlfriend got bit, and he was hiding it because he was like, "I don't want anyone to freak out."
I remember watching that as a kid. I was like, that was weird, especially when the baby comes out.
Well, to answer the question, what happens when a zombie has a baby? But but the other thing too, by the way, this is one question I asked my friend. I was like, so she turned into a zombie, and in order to become a zombie, you have to die. Now, once you die, doesn't that technically mean the baby is dead? But because that's the way the human body works. However, if the zombie virus goes through you and then goes into the baby, I really wish, I know they're not going to sit down and explain the science behind what they did.
Yeah, no, it's a movie. They would never do that.
There's questions that are unanswered that I'd like to have an answer to, and I guess this is the way life works, but I don't know.
I never thought of that. I'll be honest. Well, yeah, no, I didn't. I just took it for what it was worth, and I was like, oh, she had a zombie baby, and then it's just does an ugly little shit, and then and then they bit the nice old grandma, that was driving the truck or whatever. They bit her, and I liked her character, and I was really upset.
Every single person in that movie, in any zombie movie, really just any movie in general that has to do with the apocalypse, when you look at them, you can tell right away, you are cannon fodder. You are cannon fodder. You guys are all gonna die. So whenever someone has to die, you are going to do your best to carry the story on with the blood from your neck or something. So that's exactly what happened. I remember that dude who dropped down the fucking manhole and broke both his ankles.
Oh, that was unfortunate. That was really bad. That was just a bad situation.
But the dude went out like a fucking G. Like he was like, just drag me and I'll shoot and shit. So anyway, I was shooting.
And then it was like the dude that was in the gun shop across the way. I liked him. I remember when they were doing the whole snipers thing and they were identifying all the lookalike celebrities.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, Rosie O'Donnell,
Jay Leno."
Yeah, that was cool.
So anyway, we got to back.
Last of Us. Last of Us.
No, wait. This is Resident Evil. I was going to ask you.
Oh, yep.
So there's a very important part of Resident Evil 2 that I was expecting to happen. And it didn't quite happen the same way. Little Easter eggs. And since we're already way past this moment, I'm just going to go and spoil it for you because chances are you've either read about it and spoiled it for yourself or you didn't know about it. And other people at home, same kind of situation. So one of the hallmarks of Scenario B is when you go down into the stone tunnel that goes around to the side of the main entrance of the police station. When you're playing through the main story the first time, it's completely empty. When you're playing through Scenario B and you go through that same tunnel, Brad Vickers is there. Now, Brad Vickers, if you remember him, he's the helicopter pilot from the first Resident Evil. His name was Brad Chickenheart or Brad Chicken Shit Vickers. Because, and seriously, that's what they gave him. And actually, his name carries true because in the first one, when shit started going haywire, he just took off in his helicopter. He's like, "Fuck you guys." And that's when everyone had to run to the Spencer estate.
You have a helicopter. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, still. But, he could have been like, "Oh, fuck, there's dogs, get in." But
Deuces,
deuces pretty much, and he comes back. He's like, "Sorry, guys," and do that. So in Resident Evil 3, you get to find out why he's a zombie. He is a member of STARS, and Nemesis kills Brad Vickers. Does a whole thing through his mouth, goes on the back of his head, turns him into a zombie. That's it. Which, well, I'll get to that in a second. So in the original Resident Evil 2 on PS2 or PlayStation, excuse me. The original Resident Evil 2, when you go down that stone tunnel, you always run into Brad Vickers, and it's just like, hey, I know who that guy is. So in the remake, I was excited to see that part. I was like, I kind of want to blow his head off in like full HD. It'd be really cool. And then when you get down the tunnel, there's there's a zombie down the other side, but you have to go up there. It's stupid. But if you go into that room there on the right side, you'll find a 357 or a 38 special, some kind of revolver pistol. And on the wall,
it's Magnum with it.
yeah, and on the wall, you'll see a picture of, it says like join the Stars PD or whatever, the Raccoon Police Department, and it shows a picture of Brad Vickers there, like doing his little thumbs up. And I was like, hey, at least he's still in the tunnel, is really what they were going for. Tunnel. Yeah, I was like, that's clever, good job. So Resident Evil 3, super excited for that one. I am not gonna lie to you, I'm going to be judging it 100%. Every step of the way. And I think what I'm going to do is, I know that you mentioned that you're going to be picking it up on PS4. Now, I am torn because part of me wants to get it on PS4 so we can play Resistance. And then the other part of me wants to pick it up on PC because I have Resident Evil 2 on PC. And also, I'd like to do some streaming on it if possible.
You didn't do streaming on the PS4? What's the difference?
Yeah, with this shitty platform straight to Twitch. No, thank you, sir. I'd rather stream to Facebook. I'll stream to our lovely audience on Alamo City Geek Speak. What do they have to do? Huh? They got nothing to do right now, so they'll be able to.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying we could play Resistance together. I'm just saying, man, play Resistance. Just do it.
Maybe.
Just do it.
I'm gonna.
I bought Call of Duty for you, so.
You bought it was the single player campaign. Honestly, I just really wanted it for the fucking skin. I'm still playing through it.
I just wanted it so I could play No Russian again and be a little sociopath that I was when I was a
little
kid.
You know what? Like, just to kind of touch on that real quick.
Yeah.
So, for those at home, we talked about it last week, but I think we talked about it last week. Modern Warfare 2 got a surprise re-release, a remastered version
after it got leaked in Germany, I think.
Yeah, then they're like, fuck it, here it comes, right?
Yeah.
You got nothing else to do. So it got a surprise re-release and a remastered version of it, and the game looks fantastic. The remaster looks every bit as good as the original COD 4 remaster they did.
Beautiful.
Looks beautiful, right?
Yeah.
You can, so it supports HDR, supports 4K. It looks great on the updated systems. So with this game, it's only the campaign. There's no multiplayer, and
it's $20. So they cut off $40 for that.
You also get some extra, from the first one, because the first one included the multiplayer, right? What this also gets you is it gets you a special skin for the new Modern Warfare, which is the UDT skin for Ghost, which finally he has a Ghost. Of all the DLC characters, he's the only one so far to get an additional costume that I can think of. Everyone else is stuck.
Fucking Ghost.
That's what I'm saying. Showing favorites, bro. Next season,
it's fucking Ghost. What is the most memorable character other than Price?
Gaz.
Gaz
is basically Ghost. I mean, swear to God.
He's not actually. So there is a theory going around. Well, it's been going around since Modern Warfare came out that the main guy of this Modern Warfare.
It is not.
That he is Ghost.
No, it is not.
Yeah. Yep.
With Alex or no, it is not him because
it is.
No, it's not.
How is it not?
Okay, so first of all, let me ask you: are you talking about the white dude with the tattoos and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Talking about the CIA operative in Uzbekistan or where the hell he's at? I mean, the guy who has one sleeve of tattoos where Ghost has two?
Yeah. He can get tattoos later in life.
Shut the fuck up. No, he can't. Also, what about the fact that Ghost has like the thickest British accent I've ever heard?
Yeah. Okay. So what happens is that Alex dude, he goes deep undercover and he has to get an accent. I mean, that's the way it's gonna work. He's deep undercover. He's a whole different person. He's not Alex anymore. He's a ghost because he died supposedly in that big explosion. Supposedly,
I have not heard such a stretch of a possible truth.
No, there's a YouTube video that I will link. There's a YouTube video that I will link that you will watch. It's like 20 minutes long, but they go into a detail.
No, I've seen a lot of these whole like. Yeah. This is why it's definitely this Alex guy. No, there's no chance.
Him.
No, it's not him.
Bet. Modern Warfare 2 comes out. Bet. The new
I'll tell you what,
Warfare.
I will make a deal with you. If it is him, 100% without a shadow of a doubt,
So it is, yeah.
I will buy you a new Call of Duty hat. I don't know.
That's
I'll
fair.
buy you a pack of content or some shit. And if you're wrong, you're gonna buy the new Call of Duty for me. It's like that's
It's
super
totally unfair.
unfortunate. Well, that's why if you're so sure, you should have no problem.
Well, I
making
am
the
sure.
show.
I mean, I know I'm sure. Hey, watch, bet in Modern Warfare 2, the new Modern Warfare 2
Nah.
when it eventually
So
comes out.
you're gonna, you know, what you're gonna tell me next is that Soap is actually not even Scottish. Soap is Welsh, but he said he's from Scotland just so he's deep undercover.
Well, he is never deep undercover.
Yes.
So that theory
Yes,
wouldn't
he
make any
was. Yes,
sense.
he.
No, he's
that's
not.
By that same
It's
respect.
Soap.
And then what about Gaz?
What kind of name is Soap?
Soap, get down, Soap.
yeah. No, it's not. He was never deep undercover, so that doesn't make any sense.
All
Now
I'm
it
saying
makes
is
sense.
your whole theory here is beyond bullshit. I am a US
Don't take it
CIA.
out on me.
Listen, I am a US CIA operative, and I have to go deep undercover, and now I have a British accent that is thicker than molasses.
Look at what's his name, Private Allen, who went to the CIA and no Russian, and now he's working for Makarov. You think he didn't develop some sort of Russian accent?
He got shot, dude.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure.
But no,
in
he
order
was.
to get with Makarov, I'm pretty sure he had to be Russian.
All right, so here, check this out. Ready? Let me show you how easy it is. All of a sudden, I have no problem being Russian. You know
how hard is it to get a UK accent? It's not that hard.
No, do you?
Boy, mate.
That's first of all, it's terrible, right? And second of all,
anybody can do it.
As Ghost walking around like, "Oh, yeah, it's tough for you to die." You know, that's hardcore, like deep. No, I don't. That's not Alex. No, it's not Alex.
He's a great secret agent. So,
you can pretend all you want. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and segue from this because this is a bullshit argument that you're trying to make happen.
Nope.
You're right. Whatever. You're absolutely right. Just pretend. All right, just for a second. Just suspend your disbelief in the fact that you are wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Clean your glasses. It's one of your tells.
It's really hot in my room
that's
because
when you know you're wrong.
No, I can't put on my AC because if I do, it's gonna be blasting into the mic. So I'm literally dying of heat in here. Like I'm gonna.
For everyone listening at home, this is exactly what he does. Whenever he knows he's wrong, he starts fidgeting a lot. His anxiety goes crazy high. Anyway, so
in a fucking store.
Right? It's like, what are you talking about? I'm wrong. So yeah, so the new Call of Duty came out. That was a lot of fun. I forgot where the fuck we were going. You really threw me off of this whole
Last of Us.
Last of Us. We were talking about Resident Evil.
We talked about Last of Us originally, but then we went.
That's what I was going to say real quick. Then you told me to buy Resident Evil 4 or 3 on the PS4 because you were like, because I botched the Call of Duty. Yeah, here's the thing. I'm going to find out if it's cross-compatible for Resistance. Then I'm going to buy it on PC. And you can kiss my ass.
Well, that's fair. If it's cross-compatible, I don't give a shit.
Even if it's not cross-compatible, there's a good chance I might buy it on PC. The only reason I think it would be a good idea is so that way we can compare. I mean, there's really no comparison. PC will destroy PS4, but still.
Yeah.
So, speaking of which, I downloaded Warzone since it's free. I downloaded on the PS4 or the PC. So I'm gonna fuck around that and see what happens with that. I don't know. Probably go online.
Hackers, man. Hackers are everywhere. Hackers are infesting. They've already banned like 30,000 accounts.
Oh yeah, no, and straight up, like I don't know how you hack a PS4 necessarily, but you can tell that some things are really fishy. Really fishy. Anyway, so talking about the next subject that you just keep pushing to go to. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah, Last of Us.
Last of Us
fucking
2.
News, man.
So what you had shared here, let me pull this up here. You had shared something to the chat. And it says,
oh, actually I think I can pull it up right here. I can screen share it. Hold on.
So I thought you shared it to us, right?
Yeah, I did. Can I not screen share? Hello? Okay, yeah, I can.
Okay, there we go.
What's happening? Are you doing it?
No, I'm waiting for you.
Oh, shit. What? Why can't I screen share?
You just hit that little green button there at the bottom.
Yeah, I know, but it says I have to adjust like the settings on my computer. I'm not about to. Oh, wait. Oh, nope. It says I have to quit the app, but I'm not about to do that.
Okay, so then let me find this for everybody here at home. I'm going to move that to the side here. go over here.
I'm sorry, guys. I have tight security on my Mac, so just to hide all the porn.
Yeah, probably. You get your laptop has your computer has more viruses than a 13th century hooker.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but
So,
you found it?
yeah, I found it here. Let me grab this image here.
When I saw that, I was like, it's April Fool's, but then I realized April Fool's was yesterday, so I knew that it was true.
So
it was probably the worst news I could have received.
Sharing the screen here. As you guys can see, let's read it off here. As you've likely just seen, the release date of The Last of Us 2 has been delayed. We're sure this news is just as disappointing to you as it is to us. We wanted to reach out to all of you in our community to give you a little more information. The good news is we're nearly done with the development of The Last of Us 2. We're in the midst of fixing our final bugs.
That's the saddest part.
Yeah. However, even with us finishing the game, we're faced with the reality that due to logistics beyond our control, we couldn't launch The Last of Us 2 to our satisfaction. We want to make sure everyone gets to play The Last of Us 2 Part 2 around the same time, ensuring that we're doing everything possible to preserve the best experience for everyone. This meant delaying the game until such a time where we can solve these logistic issues. We are bummed about this decision, but ultimately understood it's what's best and fair to all of our players. We're hoping that this won't be a long delay, and we'll update you as soon as we have new information to share. We wish you all, your families, and your friends the best of health. Thank you for being amazing fans and your continued support. Stay safe.
So,
Naughty Dog.
So the part that really bothers me about this is that there is no official date of when it's going to be released. If they would have given me a date, I would have been like, you know what? Okay. Now, the other problem is this game has already been delayed like 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
I've waited for this game since when did The Last of Us come out? The original one.
Last of Us 2. Last of Us.
Or the remaster for PS4 even, because that's the last time I really played it.
Oh, let's see here. It came out in 2013.
Last of Us came out in 2013?
Yarp. So it's telling me.
Fuck.
I know.
Oh, I guess the remaster came out in 2015 for PS4. Anyway, so look, since the original game came out, that's 7 years. What the fuck? I've waited 7 years for a sequel. I've waited 7 years for a sequel, and now I'm not getting it because fucking Corona had to go ruin everybody's life.
Well,
But you know who else I blame? Those fucking spring breakers who went out and said, hey, we don't care about the rest of the world. Let's just go get infected together and then bring it back. I blame the spring breakers.
So, actually, I got even, oh, fuck. Okay, so this is a little bit better, but it's also just as hard to deal with. Just in case you didn't know, Cyberpunk got delayed. Now, the good thing is Cyberpunk is at least giving us a date. So to kind of read over the article here, in fact, let's go ahead and do a quick screen share on this too, since we're doing that for everything. Why not? So it's depressing to think that Cyberpunk 2077 would have just been a couple weeks away had it not been delayed. Originally scheduled for April 16th, Cyberpunk 2077 was recently pushed back to September 17th. So there's a couple things about this that I'm not too upset about. First of all, it's the fact that CD Projekt Red are perfectionists, right? So they're going to do what they have to do to make sure the game looks good.
I understand that.
I'm totally okay with that. The fact of the matter is, they're good at what they do. The Witcher 3 was by far one of the best games I've played like ever, and I'm okay with that. Now, you play as V, a mercenary outlaw going after one-of-a-kind implant that's a key to immortality. I like how they're starting to release more and more information on this stuff. The one thing that I'm really okay with them doing all of this is I'd rather them release a game that I'm going to say, fuck, that was good, versus releasing a game to go, man, I waited this long for that. You know?
But is it really that, though? Because I feel like a lot of these games are already done. It's just coronavirus came and ruined everything.
But see, that's the thing, though. We can't be too hasty here, because if they release a game that's not done, you have people who are sitting at home who are already in, like, the pits of despair. Right? They're already sitting at home going, man, this fucking sucks. I have to stay home all the time. I never thought I'd ever want to go to an office to do work. in ever.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd ever want to go to school. People at home who thought it was a great idea, who thought, yeah, man, I get to have the rest of the school year off, or I get to work from home. Do it and then tell me what you think.
I've only been working from home for 2 weeks already, and I already want to just blow my brains out due to boredom. And this just ruined that. Like, I was looking forward to so many things. I was looking forward to that. There's no sports on TV, so I can't watch sports. WrestleMania is this weekend. People have forgotten about WrestleMania. It's this weekend, and that's going to be a bummer.
So, also, by the way, real quick, I was looking at this article again, and I don't mean to derail here. Something that's really also neat about the way that they are setting up their game. So, you know, the Microsoft, we had the Xbox X, and then they're also coming out with the next. See here, the new Xbox is is going to set blah blah blah. So it's called the Series X. I guess is the name of this new system.
I thought it was called Scarlet.
That's the project name. I don't think it's called Scarlet. So, so they're going to be supporting like a crazy different, not crazy, but like it's going to be a lot. Technically speaking, it's more impressive. It's going to look better. They're going to offer support for like ray tracing, and it's going to have the SSD built in and stuff like that. They have already come out and said that what they're going to be doing. And this should be happening for most games that come out for the Xbox Series X versus the Xbox One X, or even the Xbox One, whatever. Games are going to be backwards compatible. So
I'm happy about that.
Yeah, if you buy it for the Xbox One, whenever the Xbox Series X comes out, it's going to automatically transfer in your library and be playable on the Xbox One Series X. And
very cool. Very cool.
The one thing that was Microsoft had said, we're making the commitment to use smart delivery in all of our exclusive Xbox Game Studios titles, including Halo Infinite, ensuring you only have to purchase the title once in order to play the best available version for whichever Xbox console they choose to play on. And then CD Projekt Red had come out and said gamers should never be forced to purchase the same game twice to put or pay for upgrades. Owners of Cyberpunk 2077 for Xbox One will receive the Xbox Series X upgrade for free when it's available. Makes me wonder what PlayStation 4 is going to be doing. It makes me kind of worried that they won't do the same thing because let's face it, I'm not saying that PlayStation's terrible. On the contrary, I prefer playing games on PlayStation over Xbox, but at the same time, when it comes down to it, I think that giving them the opportunity to do cloud gaming and all that stuff is going to be a huge
future.
Benefit. It's the future. So yeah, those are two big games that are being delayed. That kind of sucks. But
I feel like The Last of Us, just to end that. I feel like The Last of Us is gonna. If they're saying it's gonna be delayed indefinitely, I don't see why they wouldn't just put it on the PS5.
I mean,
because PS5 is coming out in December, I'm assuming. So.
Well, I guess we'll kind of see what happens with this. That's one of the things that this whole coronavirus thing is making things really bad, but also kind of interesting to see how it's going to be affecting the commerce section of our lives.
Yep.
Right now, we have you can still go to GameStop, which we're going to talk about that here in a bit. You can still go to GameStop. You can go to Best Buy. You can go to these different places where honestly you should not be going. Order on Amazon and just fucking wait. But yeah, I mean, you can go to these places and still buy stuff, but a lot of people are choosing to stay home, and that's why, like for example, for myself,
they should.
When I buy Resident Evil 3, I'm going to be buying it digitally. I'm not going to be buying the physical copy because anyone who bought the physical copy, more power to you. That's fine. But me personally, I don't want to build that need, right? Like for anybody who knows me on a personal level, there's one singer I absolutely fucking hate, and it's Morrissey. I cannot stand Morrissey. I think the guy is a anyway. So like I was having this conversation with one of our coworkers one time, and I was talking about how he's all high and mighty about being vegan and stuff, but then later on at one of his shows, he started throwing like fucking pork chops at people at a show, calling it murder.
Wait, Morrissey or a coworker?
No, the Morrissey was doing this.
So okay.
He was doing that. Into being a troll, right? Morrissey came out and started calling people murderers and stuff and throwing meat into the crowd. And he had brought up the fact that what you're doing is you're creating a need now, right? You
Yep.
create that need, and you're so while you're protesting people who are butchering animals, you've just created a need for them to butcher another animal, right? So
Yep.
for people who are going out and buying physical copies of stuff, or going out and buying, like my Switch, dude, like I need new Joy-Cons, but I really am. I'm not going to go to GameStop. I'm not going to go to Walmart. I'm not going to go to Target to buy them, because I mean, the more of these things that I go and do, the more it's going to build that need and keep those people there, when honestly they really shouldn't be there. There are people who walk around who are like, just for fun, to get out of the house. It's like, no, just, you should, for fun, go home and fucking clean your house. So
Yeah. Well, you gotta think about it too. It's like, so GameStop says they're essential. What do they really offer that you can't get online?
absolutely nothing.
Exactly. So they're not really essential then at that point, because I can literally just, if they just kept their online store open or whatever, you know what I mean? Or like just ordered from GameStop, or you order from Amazon, it doesn't really matter. I think it's just a cash grab, honestly. It's just them trying to, say their business is already in decline. GameStops are already on the verge of closing as it is.
So let's do this real quick, because I feel like we need to spend some time on this particular subject. I have just there's two other things I wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah.
So first of all, we're talking about different things being affected by the coronavirus, and we touched on this last week. We know WrestleMania and all these other big events are being affected. The biggest event that comes up in June, I think it's June, is E3.
Yep.
I don't know about you, but for the past, last year I didn't do it. The year before I did, and I had a talking to from the missus. But what I've always done every year when E3 comes around, I always take those days off and I lounge around in my underwear or boxers, whatever, or basketball shorts. I just watch gaming news all day, because it's some of the most exciting stuff you're going to see, because a lot of brand new exclusives. So E3, go figure, was canceled. They pulled the plug on E3 as a physical show, and they have announced that they're going to be doing showcases for everyone who wants to do it. It's going to be all digital platform. So for the first time in like ever, everyone's going to have the same access to E3 for the most part. That's kind of cool, but whatever. Some people don't think so, because they had tickets to go see it live, go there and walk around and stuff. Because I don't know if you've known this, there was a good chunk of time where E3 was only for industry insiders. So you had to be in the news, you had to be part of a developer. Then they opened it back up to the public, and that's when things got fun again. So now they're doing these digital shows, and one of the developers that I was really excited about, because I really look forward to their shows, but also B, because I wanted to see what kind of damage control they were going to be doing this year for Fallout 76, and that was Bethesda. I swear to
They
God,
screwed the pooch this year.
yeah. Let me see here, sir.
I didn't even have to play it. I saw compilations online of Fallout 76 and the backlash it received, and all the glitches and bugs and technical issues they were having. Even the fact that Bethesda had the balls to go ahead and charge, what was it, $100, so you get your own private server. I was like, that.
Well, so I gotta tell you, that was actually part of me wonders if that was really just listen.
Okay, I was like, are you going to support that? Because
no, a part of me wonders if this was just like a sociology experiment on Bethesda's side. Because think of it this way: if you put yourself in a situation where you really are in the wasteland, you're going to have the haves and the have-nots, right? So the haves, they paid the $15 or whatever to have their subscription, and they have access to like unlimited storage capacity or whatever it is. They got their special bunkers, a special title, they got special clothes. And then you have the people who don't have that. And then that actually brought together, like they started making different guilds or clans called like the subscribers and the non-subscribers. And there's legitimately like almost like a class system. And if you can go online and watch some YouTube videos. There's almost like an eat the rich moments going on in these servers, where these people who thought that they were just badass because of this or that, there are people who grind a lot just so they can attack these people. And it's fantastic to see that kind of shit happen. It's really funny.
I'm just saying that whole launch was just doomed.
No, the launch was terrible.
Even the fucking helmets they gave away, some of the helmets with the if you pre-ordered or whatever, they had
came
fucking
out-
mold. They had
Oh, yeah.
fucking mold on the inside, dude.
And
Like,
then
the health hazard.
the burlap sack they came out in turned out to be just like
It wasn't even the material that they were promised.
it was like fucking plastic or like a sheet or something.
Yeah.
It was like this isn't burlap.
Dude, Bethesda just is a bit fuck you, man. I don't know.
After that E3 and after everything happened, dude, I swear to God, Todd Howard, the spokesperson for the Bethesda, he was straight up on suicide watch, dude. Like they were like
it's funny because I remember me and my buddies, we watched that press conference because we did kind of like the same thing you did. We didn't take off. I don't think any of us took off. No, we didn't. But we were in a party together, like in a PS party, and we were just watching everything on Twitch or whatever. And we saw that, and we were like, hey, that looks really cool. I was even considering buying Fallout. I'd only played Fallout once before or twice. And I was considering buying Fallout. I was like, it's pretty cool. Maybe I should get into the series. And then I saw all of that, and I was like, no.
So here's the thing is like Bethesda, they knock it out of the park with their single player content, and I think that because they had a really rocky launch with Elder Scrolls Online. Didn't hit all the marks it should have hit. People were like, I'm not going to pay a subscription for this game. This game is garbage. And eventually they said, all right, cool, fine. How about this? No subscription, but you're going to pay for the expansions. And they're like, we can deal with that. So yeah, but Elder Scrolls Online started off pretty bad. Then it got better. And I guess people are really into it. In fact, I played it for a little bit. I would say that's one of the games that piqued my interest to get me out of WoW. Aside from the fact that I just wanted to stop playing WoW. It was about that time. But then eventually I dropped out of that because I was like, I'm just not having fun with MMOs in general. So they come out with Elder Scrolls Online. It does all right. So they're walking around saying, hey, we just turned one of our most profitable franchises into an MMO. We can do that again, right? So they turn around and they do it with Fallout. And the problem is some games just do not translate well.
Yeah.
A game where you can essentially like slow down time and fuck shit up doesn't translate well into a live environment. Not to mention, in a world where resources are already supposed to be pretty sparse, you basically just everyone's cannibalistic on each other now. Speaking of which, that was the one thing I was looking forward to in for this game was I wanted to kind of have the feeling of a Fallout 4 of like complete control, and you really do, but it doesn't have the same feeling because now you're no longer either the Reaper of the Wasteland or the Savior of the Wasteland because someone else out there is living their story and they could be the Reaper of the Wasteland. So it I don't know. I got to play just a little bit of it. I wasn't super impressed. Everyone's like, "Oh, you got to give it time," but I just don't have that time anymore. But
well, they fucked up too. Bethesda, didn't they do? They did Wolfenstein, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, and Youngbloods. That was an epic fail this year too.
So the one thing about
or 2019,
Youngbloods,
I should say.
One thing about Youngbloods I was really interested in is I wanted to have that experience. So I played a lot of games with my brother growing up, right? And I wish I was actually trying to get him on the show tonight because that would have been something great we could talk about. But playing co-op games online, it doesn't have the same feeling as doing couch co-op, but I'll take it. Because I want to have that feeling again of being able to play games with my brother, especially now that I'm going literally nowhere. So I have nothing but time. And while he still has to go to his building every once in a while, he's working from home too. But, the thing is him juggling a family and work is we'll find time in there. But Wolfenstein, I was like, dude, I should buy that. We can both play the Switch. It'll be fun. And then when I read the reviews, I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to do that. We'll end up playing like, I don't know, we'll play.
Animal Crossing.
Actually, yeah, legit. We're going to talk about that next week. But
is that game, should I buy it because
do you have a Switch?
Is it only on Switch?
It's only on Switch. Get a Switch. Get a Switch.
No, I'm good.
Dude, legit. I got to tell you. Look, real quick. Let me pull up my Nintendo membership card real quick here. No, so I think you'd enjoy the Switch only because of the fact that I know you like to poop a lot, and this is a great way to kind of kill some time.
That is true.
Dude, the Switch Lite is $200. Just buy it online. Don't buy it.
I don't have $200 to give, dude. I'm trying to buy a fucking gaming chair so I can stop throwing my back out on this fucking wooden
Is
chair
that
that
what
I
you
got. It
game
hurts.
on? Fucking
No,
garbage.
I game on my bed. I just sit on my bed, but this is what I work in every day, and this is why my
Oh,
back is
man.
giving me problems because it's wooden and it fucking hurts.
So then, okay, fine.
Like
First
I'm working
purchase,
out of my own coffin.
you get paid tomorrow.
I'm
Get
gonna buy a gaming chair.
get your gaming chair, and then the paycheck after that, get yourself a Switch Lite. I'm just saying.
I'm waiting for Trump to hurry up and.
Oh, dude! Once we get that $1,200, come on! I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna get a gaming chair.
Come on, Trump! I'll vote for you again. Just hurry up.
Shit, fuck that. That's a different podcast, right?
Oh yeah, we're not gonna do that.
So yeah, so the one thing I was excited for this year, I was like, dude, maybe we'll get more information on Elder Scrolls 6, because I gotta tell you, Skyrim was one of the best. People are, yeah, I'm a Bethesda fan, and I really, really, really liked Morrowind, or it was the best one. Kiss my ass, dude. Skyrim was better. So when it comes down to Elder Scrolls 6, I'm expecting it to kind of go to either a new place we've never been before, or I kind of want to have a game that's really just based in Hammerfall. Hammerfell? One of the two. I can't remember how it's called. But yeah, all I'm saying is I'm excited about a new Elder Scrolls, because I want to have a next gen, everything looks beautiful, and I can go anywhere and kick shit if I want to. But yeah, we're not gonna get that now, because they have said that they are not going to be having a conference. So that kind of sucks. And for some reason, I guarantee you, fucking nothing bad against Devolver Digital, but they're going to have the same bullshit 30, 45 minute little show they have that makes you say, what is this? Is this a game showcase or an acid trip?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bummer, man. I feel like the world has just kind of stopped, and it's just, I don't know. And it's funny because me, like, I always considered myself an I always considered myself an introvert, and being home, it's kind of like I need to do something, and I can't watch it at E3. I mean,
I think the only thing that could save us now, legitimately, is Ubisoft's Mr. Caffeine. All right, we all know that.
I mean, but it's weird, man. It's just like the world is a different place right now. I mean, I look, I got joy out of watching. This is more of the content I want to see. Is you see that Jet Blatt video that I shared on Facebook?
Yeah,
that's the content I want to see, man. It's the only thing that can make me happy right now.
It's crazy right now. TikTok is killing it because of the fact that everyone's so fucking bored.
Yeah.
Period. Everyone.
Imagine if this didn't happen. Would TikTok really be where it's at?
Probably still, because kids love random shit for about a year and then they move on to something else. Next one's going to be, hey, who can make the funniest face and draw it with a piece of paper because we got random ideas. I don't know. It makes no sense. People will literally gravitate to whatever is the next flavor of the month. So give us a little while, it'll be gone. Look what happened with Instagram. Instagram's still popular, but it's no longer the number one thing. Snapchat was crazy popular, and now people are moving over to TikTok to share their content. So, there's always going to be a bigger fish, because there's always going to be that new thing that does something that no one else does. The one thing that's really funny too, though, is TikTok, and I've never done the research. So if this is an answer to this, then that'd be great. But there used to be an old, I'd say used to be, like even 2 years ago, there was a website called Dub Smash that you can take.
I remember.
Yeah, so TikTok is basically just Dub Smash.
Well, it's like the second coming of. Does TikTok have time limits on their videos?
I think so.
I feel like it's like a second coming of Vine, basically.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I was actually trying to explain.
And I liked Vine. I'll be honest.
Vine.
For those of you, I used to make Vine videos. Just saying.
Really? Now I gotta find these guys.
They were cringy. They were cringy as fuck. It was just me in high school just doing dumb shit.
Oh, I'm from Vine. I'm from Vine. I'm from Vine. I didn't catch into to Vine until closer to the end of its life cycle. And honestly, sometimes I will sit here and dude, I'm gonna end up doing this tonight. Now I will sit here and watch Vine compilations of some of the best Vines, and it's just like you get lost in a rabbit hole. No, so like I was explaining TikTok to my wife the other day, and she's like, "What is this?" I was like, "So the only thing that I can think of that makes sense is there was that one where everyone turns into a zombie at the end and does like the very same little dance. I don't know how to explain it very well, but there was a bunch of people who did a version of this, and she was like, they're all doing the same thing. I'm like, no, they all kind of put their own little spin on it. So I think the whole thing about TikTok is it takes what's popular and everyone does their own version of it. So it's a meme of itself, because literally, what is a meme versus having a whole bunch of people do the same thing over and over again? That's a request for the
I was like, what the fuck is Bickle Boob? Is that what it says?
big loot. I don't know. So
it's for our regiment on.
Yeah, we have a regiment Call of Duty, which we should probably share it to you guys. You guys want to?
Oh yeah,
with us? We're also playing Warzone, so you guys can hear us rage when we play Warzone and never take it seriously. Be upset that we're not doing well.
Yesterday we got second place.
Dude, no, I don't want to talk about that right now. There was some things that are happening that are outside of my control that I had to attend to.
Oh, I understand. It's funny though, because so for those who are gonna listen, we were playing Warzone yesterday, and our third teammate, her name is Brenda. She was out, and it was just me and Justin had to go take care of some things, so he left his mic, and it was just me, and I was sniping people from a cabin, like from the house we were in or whatever, in farmland, that area. And I was hitting people, and then I got domed by someone. It was a great shot, and I got knocked down. And Justin was away from his mic, so I was literally like, Justin, I need you. And Brenda's laughing her ass off because you're not responding. And I was like, Justin, I need you, dude. I need you. And I'm like fucking bleeding out. I'm like, Justin, answer your fucking mic. And finally, you didn't answer, but you started walking over towards me. And I was like, okay, at least he heard me.
Yeah, when all that stuff was happening, I was trying to do multiple things at once. And
no, I understand. It was hilarious.
Well, because I had to run over here and do this and run back over here and do that. Yeah. And every time I look at the TV, we'd still be alive. I'm like, holy fuck, we're still here. Yeah. And then like you did a good job of holding people off. But there was that one team that right there, they close to the end that I remember being part of. They pushed, and they should not have pushed. They underestimated. They underestimated our abilities. You remember the snipers. That one dude was peeking. So we took out the guy with the shield, and then the other guy was peeking on the other side. He got blasted in the face. His armor busted. But then he said, you know what? No guts, no glory. Let me save my friend. And I was like, that was a bad idea because I have an AK-47 with your name on it. Yeah. It was not a good day, so I most definitely had to use my AK. And it was bad news bears for them. But then when we got close to the end, when I realized I still had a UAV, I was like, oh fuck, I have a UAV. Right? So I just popped it. And we knew where they were, but they were in the bushes. We couldn't see them, and I was like, dude, I know they have thermal scope.
So I had a thermal scope, and I was shooting them through the bushes, and I hit like two of them, but then they revived each other, and then I was just stuck behind a rock, and I had nowhere to go. I probably could have used C4 now that I'm thinking about it. I had C4, but I didn't think it would reach all the way, and then I just got melted. So
it's just one of those situations where we got close to it. It would have been great to get a dub there, but honestly, like the way things are going, I don't know if I would have been able to enjoy the dub the way I wanted to, because it's one of those moments that when it's like life knows whenever things are going crazy, you kind of it was a crazy time.
Yeah.
Anyway, fuck, I just had a brain fart. Dude, I fucking hate this. We'll put the regiment information into our Facebook page and on our Twitter if you guys want to.
I don't know how many people are allowed to join a regiment.
We'll find out once we get captain. We'll be done. I mean, it works for John Tron, right? It could work for us. This is the second time I made a reference to him. I really hope he doesn't sue. Something else that I think is also I wanted to kind of touch on. We were talking about The Last of Us 2, about Bethesda skipping E3. I just really hope that E3 comes back with some kind of power because, God, that's like the little light in today's world that I could definitely use. The last thing I wanted to talk to you about, Raul, something we had briefly discussed right now, but now we're going to kind of go more into detail, is GameStop.
Oh, yeah, they're a bunch of fucking idiots.
So GameStop, and let's do a quick, since we're here, let's do a quick update and find out.
Yeah, continuing my point from earlier, I just think it's ridiculous. You know, this company is one that's barely surviving in today's world with everything, with Amazon and other retailers. I mean, they're offering something that you can literally get anywhere else.
Okay, so check this out. Maybe this is something that I should have necessarily kept myself updated with, but okay.
You sharing the screen?
And this is from New York, so I don't know. Okay, let me go ahead and share the screen here so we can kind of take a look at this here together, because you're my best friend. Just kidding. I mean, you're a good friend. You're a cherished acquaintance. Anyway.
Fuck me, I guess. All right, cool.
No. Okay, so GameStop will close all of its storefronts starting Sunday, following the outcry from its employees and calls from lawmakers to stay home. So this was posted.
I guess good on you for doing it. Oh,
Yeah,
so they are closed now.
They're closed now, but what they're doing is they do offer curbside pickup for pre-orders.
Well, that's kind of like what Best Buy is doing, because Best Buy, you can't even go in the store anymore.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to.
Yeah, you just do curbside. I tried going last week to go get something, and they didn't allow me in the store. And they were like, "Do you know what you want?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "We'll go get it for you, but you have to stay out here." And I was like, oh, "Okay, that makes sense, I guess."
Honestly, that's why you just do pick up at store. That would make more sense, right?
Yeah, well, I didn't know that at the time. I thought I did still go in.
Yeah, no.
There was a dude. There was a Best Buy employee with a mask that came up to my car
wearing gloves and shit.
Yeah, and I was like, "Hello."
Well,
Am I at the wrong store?
The one thing that's really funny is I said this exact same thing. This person here. So one of the GameStop employees said, that's absolutely ridiculous. If someone's trying to work from home, they don't want the $85 Razer keyboard we have or the $60 Razer mouse. Some cheap $20 Microsoft something is going to get them by just fine. They can get that at Walmart. They can get that in any of those stores that also has groceries and are arguably much more essential than to being open right now.
True.
So whenever they said they were essential, I remember, again, this is another conversation I was having with somebody else. It was like, they're not essential. I get that their idea of being networking focused and having peripherals for your computer and stuff could be considered essential in a way. The fact of the matter is all their stuff is focused around gaming, so that's really stretching the term essential. If we're going to be using that at any point, then you can consider Best Buy to be entirely way more essential than what GameStop is. And even Best Buy recognizes that, so I think that's why they stay open, but they're doing such a reduced contact with customers. It makes more sense. The whole pick up on the side of the road and then do your orders online and pick it up. In fact, if that's the way they're doing things, I don't actually have a problem going to GameStop or Best Buy to pick something up, as long as I don't have to go in. The other big concern I had was trade-ins for GameStop. So working at GameStop myself, I don't know if you ever had a chance to work at GameStop.
No, I was this close to working at GameStop. Oh, dude, I'm so stupid. I was trying to close the ad, but you're screen sharing. Okay. Yeah, I was this close to working at GameStop, and I was actually working at Walmart at the time. And there was a guy that would always come in. I was working at the McDonald's inside the Walmart. Excuse me. And there would be a guy from. Yeah, I worked there for 3 years. It was the worst. It wasn't. I shouldn't say it was the worst. I had some good times there. It was.
That's the funny thing about those McJobs like that, right? They are literally the worst job you've ever had, but the people you work with is what made it happen.
So that's one thing. Before we go on, that is one thing I will say is working at McDonald's was shitty, but the people that I worked with made it better. And that's
you guys are all in the same shitty situation.
Yeah, like our lives sucked together. But yeah, so I almost worked at GameStop because some dude kept going in there trying to hire me. But then when I applied, they said it was seasonal only, and I was like,
"Oh, fuck those guys!"
And I was like, "Oh, I wanted some job security, so I'm good."
So, I worked.
McDonald's always needs me.
I worked at GameStop as an assistant manager for a while, and I can tell you that just like working at Sprint, where we did phone trade-ins or phone repairs, working at GameStop, people would bring in all manner of stuff, and I gotta tell you, and not to put anybody on blast if this has happened to you, because I'm not going to obviously use any names, but the fact of the matter is, if you're going to bring a system in and like when I go to open the tray up, there's like fucking bugs in there or something, don't bring that system in. If you're going to bring a game in, dude, I've had games that have like fucking shit stains on the top. It's like, dude, were you eating Hershey's chocolate bars when you were playing with this, or did you forget to wipe or something, or what? Because this is gross. Just like when I worked at Sprint, I had people bring their phone in and their phone would be wet, and you would ask them, "Why is your phone wet?" and they would almost never tell you why, and you know why. It got dropped in the toilet because they were using the bathroom and they turned around trying to finish that last text and they slipped on their hand that fell on their pee-pee. right? So you know exactly, and that's why like you'd get passive aggressive with this shit wearing like plastic gloves and holding their phone, and they'd be like, "Well, why are you holding like that?" It's like, because I don't know what this liquid is, man. This could be pee, right? I'm not gonna hold your pee.
Yeah.
So same thing for GameStop. Like, and now with the fact that the COVID-19 can survive on surfaces for like what 9 hours or 19 hours or some shit.
Yeah, well, some it didn't even last days. I think on certain
Yeah,
ones.
like cardboard, it can like last forever.
Yeah.
So on a plastic surface like that, with game cases and games themselves, having customers have the ability to walk in and hand you something like that is that's just not
Well,
not good.
it's not safe right now. Yeah.
Not safe. So I really think they should just really bite the bullet on this one and deal with the fact that either A, they're going to have a lawsuit in their hands by forcing people to work and take these trade-ins, or just say, you know what, we're not going to do this anymore.
At least for now.
Oh, here's another good quote. I never considered myself someone essential to a pandemic then, and I don't now. So there's a YouTuber. I'm going to
He has to remain anonymous for fear of retribution.
Oh, dude, straight up GameStop will do that shit.
Yeah, they sound petty.
There's a YouTuber I watch who I don't know how he got it, but he had apparently gotten an invite key to a call with executives on GameStop, and I think it's because he had insider connections. So he got into this call, and he got to hear these executives the way they're talking about, like, oh, you know, well, we're just gonna stay open. Like they weren't overtly callous by saying who cares, but that was very much the tone they had. And they were saying stuff like, you know, well, you know, it's really up to you to try to like, because there's one store leader who was like, so what are we gonna do about people's fears about this virus? Like, how do we calm them down and help them relax with this? And one of the executives, he asked the executives, he's like, are you guys gonna be sending an email about this or anything to address this? And the lady was like, well, we've already sent the email, and anything beyond that really should be on you guys. And it was like, okay, so you're first of all demanding that we stay open, and then it is on us to make sure that we convey your shitty version of a message. It to me, it just sounded like they were just spinning their tires trying to stay open as long as possible. And they even gave them a letter that they were supposed to give to law enforcement at the very beginning of this whole thing that said, we are essential. If you have any issues, contact this phone number. And now they've changed that. So that's good.
And that is why I'm thankful me and you work for the company that we do. Because they don't treat us like that.
They don't. And
No.
being able to work from home, anyone who's lost their job, heart goes out to you for real, because losing your job is outside your control.
Well, so there was actually a figure that came out today that like 6.5 million people have filed for unemployment since this has started, and that's that's crazy. And I feel bad for all those that have. It's a sucky situation. One thing I will say is just keep your head up. I mean, that's all you can really do, is just keep. It's just, you know what? I told a friend of mine this, and it's a quote that I didn't appreciate as a kid, but I appreciate it now, and it's actually from The Dark Knight. And this quote gets me by whenever I am upset or stressed or whatever. The night is always darkest before the dawn. That quote, I didn't appreciate that as a kid. I just said, "Oh, that's all right, whatever." I don't care. It's Batman.
Oh, your internet froze.
I don't watch this movie for quote froze.
Oh, you froze up for a second. There you go.
My internet froze.
Yeah, you froze up.
Did you hear what I said about my quote?
Didn't hear any of that.
You didn't hear any of that?
No.
Fuck. Okay, so take 2. So, did you hear what I said about The Dark Knight?
It's a dark night. The night is darkest before the dawn.
Oh, that's all I did really do.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's all I really did say. That quote, that goes out to all of you. You know what? Life seems shitty right now, and understandably so. But you're gonna get through it. You just gotta sit through it. That sounds kind of like, how would I say? Coming from me, I know that probably doesn't mean much, right? But like, that's all. That's the best thing I do.
You know what's really funny is to show the obvious differences in our mental state right now. You're being all optimistic and chipper. I think back to the quote that the Joker was talking about when the chips are down.
Oh, well, no, you're right.
Yeah, they'll show you
That is why That is why we're in this mess in the first place.
For sure. Like seriously, like people fighting over toilet paper. You know,
If people,
isn't that ironic? An asswipe is fighting over asswipe.
if people would have just kept doing what they were doing instead of trying to hoard all the fucking essentials and shit, like we would have never been in this mess that we're in.
Yeah. On the other token, though, you know, I get the panic. I understand why people react the way they did because there's a lot of people in our age. No one's ever dealt with stuff like this before, you know. So
That's fair. That's fair.
You know, now we get to experience this, and it's just I don't know. By the way, I'm gonna post something in the ACGS chat here in a bit. Into the Facebook group because I'm getting put on blast right now.
Who are you getting put on blast by?
Because Animal Crossing.
Oh my
God.
So
before we leave, just to kind of give you a heads up on how things work, there is a thing in Animal Crossing. It's not cheating. It's just frowned upon. It's called time warping.
Like masturbating on an airplane?
Like masturbating on an airplane, yeah. Or peeing in a parking lot, you know. It's frowned upon. It's called time traveling. And the way you time travel on your Switch, at least specifically for Animal Crossing, is you go in your settings, you turn off your internet-based clock, and you adjust your date. So, for example, they have this thing called the stock market. It's funny, STALK. You're trading stocks of turnips. So,
I did it.
Yeah, the stock.
Oh, that's hilarious. Actually.
It's all farmer and animal jokes. Trust me.
I love punny shit like that.
No,
See what I did there?
When you pick up a millipede, it's like, I got a millipede. I catch 99 more, I'll have a centipede. No, I'm sorry. I have a centipede. If I catch 99 more, I have a $1-pede, and I damn near threw my Switch. Right? I was like, fuck this. No more of that. Puns. And so
shit's hilarious.
Time traveling, I was saying I'm gonna play the stock market and talk about how I had 2 or 3 really good ups. Right? I bought so you buy these things in bushels of 10 at a time.
Yeah.
So every single one counts as 10, and every 10 counts as 100, right? So I buy like 600 or 700 bushels of turnips, and I go to sell them at the stock market. So the way this works, you buy this from this lady named Daisy May. She sells you the turnips, and when you show up on a Sunday, the prices are determined, whatever they are. Yep. And sometimes they'll be like they'll be as low as like 90 or 80. They're not called dollars, they're called bells. It's all kid shit, right? So it's not dollars or bells. So she'll sell them for like 90 bells. So you're like, yeah, cool. I'll buy them for like 85, 90 bells. And then every day you go to the store and you talk to them. Hey, what is your turnip prices right now? And they'll be like, we're buying them for like 200 bells. And you're like, fuck yeah, man, it's got a 200% profit, right? So this last couple of times, the first time I did it, I bought them for like 92 bells, and I ended up selling for 137 bells. And I was like, that's a really good profit. I was able to pay off my house. Everything was good. This next time I bought them for 102, like a fucking idiot, like a mouth-breathing idiot, right? So I went and bought them for 102 bells, and then I was time traveling through every day of that week, and it went from selling at 95 bells, going all the way down to fucking 63 bells.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I invested 130,000 bells into this whole scheme. And in the end, I got fucked hard, and I walked away with like 80 something.
Dude, that was bells. Animal Crossing basically telling you, hey, don't fuck with that shit.
Dude, all I know is I need Gordon Gecko here to help me out with this shit, because if he's able to play Wall Street, at least maybe he can play the stock market for me. Anywho, so that's really gonna do it for this episode today. It was a real slice sitting here and talking to you about some random bullshit. And remember, guys, make sure you guys check out our Facebook page. If you are watching this video, chances are you saw it on Facebook, or you may have seen it on Twitter. Wherever you find it, make sure you hit follow and subscribe. Make sure you can get the updates whenever we go live, or not live, but whenever we put an episode out. That was my stand. And then make sure that you keep in touch with us, because we want to make the show the way you want us to make the show, but at the same time we also just make the show however we do it. There's also a link I'm going to share that you guys can send us a voicemail. If you leave us a voice message, there's a good chance you could be featured on the next episode. And just keep playing games and keep your optimism up, and we'll see you guys in the battlefield.
Yep. Later, guys.
Later, guys.
The game goes on.